couple more minutes. So for those of you who've joined after I said, if you want to share a word, one word that sums up how you feel, maybe how you want to feel at the end of this, or just how you're feeling right now, so we know what the vibe is for everybody who's joining and feel a little bit more connected. It'd be lovely. So I'm just gonna have a little look at what some people are saying. Excuse my squinting, very concentrated face. It's quite sunny out here. Oh bless, my mum's just sent a request to be in my live video. That's very sweet, but I'm not sure whether she actually meant that. Gotta love mums, right? That's very sweet. Okay, all right, so I think I will begin. So just to give you a bit of context, yesterday I received, let me see if you can see this book, Poetry Out Loud, and it has some of my poems in it. It's one of the first books that I've had a selection, shall I say, of my poems published in, so it's very special to me. And I wanted to share them with you. It's a project that I might carry on and develop further, so I just wanted to share the poems that were published with you. And it's the title is My Life in Trees, and I'll explain a little bit about it after, but first we can start with the poetry. Okay, so I hope you're all sitting comfortably, and okay. The Faraway Tree, Bryside Cottage, Dunsire, South Lanarkshire. I built a tree house on you with nothing but a hammer, old nails, and leftover wood. I remembered there was wisdom in my hands. You returned my inner child, and I built a whole world for her under a canopy of green where she thrives and thrives still. The Threshold Tree, Valparaiso Park, Palma del Rio. Like two watchful gods, you allowed me to pass as naked and bare as a human soul can be. I set everything down before you as you watched me pass through, ending up with less and less still. You witnessed me step through your gates into a new phase, and your silence was souvenir enough. The Mother Tree, Sevilla, opposite the Museo de Bellas Artes. You opened your legs to me, two huge branches extending sideways and a raised hole in the middle that looked so much like a vagina about to squeeze something out. I could not stare too long for fear of being called a pervert. The word dream comes back to me and whispers, two hands, a tiny poem. It keeps playing around my mind like a riddle trying to be answered. Give me one more year, I plead. I have work to do. And not the kind you set your alarm at an ungodly hour for. The mother in me is not yet like this tree. Give me one more year, and then I am yours. So that was the small selection of poems that were included in Poetry Out Loud. Did you enjoy that? Let me know. Oh, some people are watching me. Let me know with one word how you felt about that, how that made you feel, if you want. Yes, the premise of it was to explore really important moments in my life that may not have seemed like big events, but that were somehow connected to nature and really specific trees in really specific places that have played a part in my growth and my journey as a human. And it was really interesting to look back and think about all the different trees in my life. And there's many more. The ones that were selected by the editor have a really like triumphant feel about them. Some of the other ones that I wrote weren't as triumphant and explained some quite difficult times. But yeah, always the trees in a way gave me some grounding and hope. So yeah, so someone said, Daisy, I laughed out loud at the pervert line. It's true. I've got a picture of it. I'll send a picture of it. It's a really beautiful, interesting tree in Seville. So touching and pure, but also comic relief. What a collection. Bless you. Read them again. Oh, I mean, I know they were quite short, weren't they? If you do want me to read them again, I can do. It depends. If more than one person tells me to read them again, then I will. That's very lovely. If anybody has any questions about submissions, and just writing and doing poetry in general, whatever small nuggets of wisdom I've collected over the years, then I hope I can pass on in any small way. Yes, please. Everyone's saying read them again. That's very sweet. I'm blushing. You can't tell because the sun's like right here. Okay, let's read them again. Thank you, everybody. So we're gonna read them again. Okay. So My Life in Trees. The Faraway Tree. Ryside Cottage, Dunsire, South Lanarkshire. I built a tree house on you with nothing but a hammer, old nails, and leftover wood. I remembered there was wisdom in my hands. You returned my inner child, and I built a whole world for her under a canopy of green where she thrives and thrives still. I don't know if you can see this little fly? Can you see that? It's just listening to me. Anyway, the threshold tree. Valparaiso Park, Palma del Rio. Like two watchful gods, you allowed me to pass as naked and bare as a human soul can be. I set everything down before you as you watched me pass through, ending up with less and less still. You witnessed me step through your gates into a new phase, and your silence was souvenir enough. The Mother Tree, Sevilla, opposite the Museo de Bellas Artes. You opened your legs to me, two huge branches extending sideways and a raised hole in the middle that looked so much like a vagina about to squeeze something out. I could not stare too long for fear of being called a pervert. The word dream comes back to me in whispers, two hands, a tiny poem. It keeps playing around my mind like a riddle trying to be answered. Give me one more year, I plead. I have work to do. And not the kind you set your alarm at an ungodly hour for. The mother in me is not yet like this tree. Give me one more year, and then I am yours. So yes, that was the second reading of those poems. And how this all came about, it was unusual. So the editor contacted me actually on Instagram because he'd seen my work, that I've been posting poems every day or trying to, and he just was aware of the things I was writing, and I hope saw some quality in them, and then asked me to submit to the next issue of Poetry Out Loud. You can buy this book, it's on Amazon. You can search Poetry Out Loud, and it is issue 5, June 2023, and I'm very, very grateful. I must say that I don't receive any royalties from, I have to tell you, just to be transparent, I don't receive any royalties from anyone buying this book, but it's really important to support publishers and presses anyway, to keep them going. But yes, if you do want to support me at all, just tell your friends about my work, and anyone who might be interested in writing. I do a daily writing poetry prompt challenge at the moment on my Instagram at a_poet on the road, and with Daisy Nash Artist as well. So if anybody wants to join in that community, I know some of you here have been joining in that community, and it's so nice to listen and to read your words and your journeys. Does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure, I haven't received any, let's have a look. Some more people are joining, that's so sweet. Now, some of my poems that are out in Poetry Out Loud, which is available on Amazon. And I'm really excited to say I've got another poem coming out in an anthology in August, so I will also share that too. But if Printmaker Lady, hello, I'm waving to you. Yes, so if no one has any questions, then what I will do is read some closing quotes and from some very special writers that have helped me in my journey. So one of them is from Drinking from the River of Light, which is by Mark Nepo, and I believe it was introduced to me by Beth Kempton on one of her free writing sanctuaries. I have so many butterflies flying around me right now, it's very great. And this one is Breaking Surface, and I really hope that it instills and invigorates some inspiration in you.